while the demand of the market is to make thrillers, it is the demand from the industry, from box office, from... So this is my 8th Bengali film and he has been in 6 of them. He couldn't drive a car and he played a taxi driver. So, Khadan, okay, Chalchitro, I'm heavy, I'm overweight. When I was in school, maybe a mutton biryani, I would inhale one plate. Betkir jonno alada মাছের ঝোল, রুই কাতলা হলো একরকম, আবার ট্যাংরা মাছ হলো একরকম.
For most of us, food is a love language. And this director gifted us one of the very first culinary dramas in Bengali cinema. He is none other than Pratim D Gupta. And today he is with us speaking about his film, which is again a lot about food, Ranna Baati. Hello Pratim Da, welcome to Indulge Express.
Thank you.
So, after a long time, another film related to food, and I am super excited because I have loved Macher Jhol. So, what made you to, work on another film that is related to food, that is a culinary drama? What went into creating Ranna Baati?
So even when I'm making a film which doesn't have food as the main subject, there is always food in my films. And even Chalchitra, my last year's release, it had a lot of food. And although it was a serial killer thriller, it had food punctuating the entire film. While the demand of the market is to make thrillers, because thrillers kind of maybe that thinking is the thrillers guarantee a certain audience, I personally love making softer films. So Macher Jhol, Ahare Mon. This is the kind of films I enjoy making more because I really enjoy exploring human relationships. So the idea of Ranna Baati didn't start ki let's make another food film because Macher Jhol was successful. The idea started from, I'm from South Point, my school, and a lot of my friends are in the IT. So they are posted in different parts of the world. So this one particular friend of mine who's posted in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh, he had come during Durga Puja and we were having a chat or whatever. Not this Durga Puja, I think a couple of years back. And he said that my daughter is growing up in Calcutta and I spent 11 months of the year in Saudi. I am missing out on seeing her grow up. And that struck me that this must be a problem of so many people. Children growing up, you may even be in the same town, but you are so busy with your work, you are not being able to see your own kid grow up, and those years will never come back. One day you see her getting born, and next day she is in college. So that's where the idea came, that what if the mother has been filling the gap and the mother passes away. So that's where the story of Ranna Baati starts, where the father and daughter are like strangers in the same house because there was no way they could connect because he was away and the wife has passed away, and now they have to coexist and start connecting. Now how to connect is where the food comes in. That is when I thought that food is such a healer, of relationships. Food brings nostalgia, food brings memories. What if I incorporate food in this father-daughter bridging story? And that's when the rest of the idea came. And while this one is also a food film, the way food is used here is very different from Macher Jhol. And this is a much lighter film than Macher Jhol was about an unwell mother. This is a 13-year-old kid. So obviously the whole context becomes a little fun, little lighter. So this also has a lot of drama and emotions and stuff, but it also has very funny moments.
And I think food is something which is the easiest when it comes to healing, like filling in the gaps. Right. So if I say that as an audience I love thrillers, I love reading and watching thrillers, but somehow these soft movies we are somehow missing out on them. There are a lot of things happening in cinema when it comes to cinema and web shows. But these are something very simple, something very relatable.
It stays with you more.
Yes, it is like that. like that warm hug you would love to watch on screen.
Yes.
So
yes.
why would you think that people are not making such films?
As I said, I think the producers feel that, what are the films which have worked last year? Oh, Khadan, okay, okay, Chalchitro, okay. So make more thrillers, make us thrillers. So I think it is the demand from the industry, from box office, from producers, that thrillers, even if you look at OTT, most of the shows are thrillers.
Right.
Yeah, so I think somehow this word has spread that thrillers will give you an initial audience. But thrillers are, if you compare it with food, is like a snack. It's like
Right.
junk
Right.
that you immediately enjoy your burger and your pizza and
Right.
your stuff. But for a proper fish curry rice or something which will stay with you, that is, I think, the more emotional, the softer films, which if it really strikes a chord with the audience, you have hit a jackpot. That is really going to stay with you for a long time. See, I've made quite a few films now,
Right.
and many are thrillers, Shai Bibi Ghulam, Tooth Pari, Chalchitro. But people still, when they see me, the big smile comes when they hear Machejjo. So that is the warmth, that hug you were talking
Right.
about, because the film touched you, the film moved you. That's why it stays with the audience much longer.
And because you have made both these genres, you have explored them in and
Yeah.
out, which is the most difficult to handle?
I think thriller is a very plot-based structure. The story has to keep going ahead very fast. While a film like Machejjol or Ranna Baati, it is about the moments, and it is about the characters more than the plot. See, plot of Ranna Baati I can tell you in one line. I can't tell you the plot of Chalchitra in one line. This
Then a
happens
lot of
and then
things
this
happen,
happens and this
yeah.
happens and this.
Lot of things happen.
But in Ranna Baati, with every scene, something is changing inside
Right.
of the characters. So that is more difficult to write, and you need brilliant actors for a Machejjol or a Ranna Baati, because they have to convey that emotion with a little glance or one little eyes become watering. So that is the challenge of films like this. It's easier to mount. Maybe there are not so many locations, there are no action scenes, but it's much more difficult to write and to direct actors in such sensitive moments.
Okay. And as you say that, there is this demand
Yeah.
of making thrillers. So
Yeah.
don't you think it is getting lost somewhere, or it's becoming very stagnant, that you are every other day, every other week there is some thriller
Yeah.
releasing at the theaters or on OTT?
Yeah. So I think once, these are all cycles. I mean, there was a time when Rituda used to make all these chamber dramas
Right.
about relationships. Then Shibuda came and made a lot of them. Bela Sheshe, Bela Shuru, Posto. Now, I think now we have gone through a cycle of a lot of thrillers. Maybe it will change again. I really hope it changes, because these films stay much longer. Their longevity, their shelf life is much longer than these thrillers which come and go and you forget. You go back home and you've already forgotten. But these things stay with you, and like, oh, we remember that scene when Pauli was confronting her husband on the
Right,
roof.
on the roof.
You remember these scenes because it touched you somewhere and you could identify with the character. So I think these films are something which I also hope that a lot more such films are made.
Okay. So I'm guessing you are a 1980s kid.
81.
81. So how was it writing, Gen Z?
Right.
Writing a Gen Z, how she speaks, how she behaves, what she wears, what she replies when she's, communicating with her father. How difficult was it, and how did you write it?
There's clearly very two different languages when the
Right.
father and the daughter speak.
Right.
And this difference of generation is a big part of the film. And it's like, so the daughter is played by Ida, who's
Right.
Bisha daughter. And so I used to sit with her day after day with the script, and I used to consult her that how would you say this line if you were
Okay.
to say this line. And I incorporated a lot of lines from her. Now, she is 13 herself, so she speaks in words like breadcrumbing, situationship, bay, So these things I've tried to incorporate without making it sound like I'm just using some jargon.
Right.
Also, that generation with parents, they keep quiet a lot.
Yeah.
They hardly speak.
Yeah.
So there are scenes where Ritwik on the other end of the dining table is
Speaking,
going on
speaking.
talking, and she is replying in monosyllables.
Right.
Huh? What? Really? So, so that it is that it's like it's never on the same platform or on the same. They are on different planets on different trajectory. So it was a lot of fun.
ইনফ্যাক্ট ঋত্বিক দা বোধহয় বলছে একটা জায়গায় যে ও অন্য কোনো প্ল্যানেটে আছে আমি
অন্য
মেয়েকে
অন্য কোনো প্ল্যানেট হচ্ছে আমি গ্যালাক্সিতে ঢুকতেই
পারছি না
Yes, exactly. So I've kept that in the trailer also, and it's really he's struggling because there's a clear 30-year divide between them, and he doesn't know. She's watching Muay Thai wrestling, and he's like, why don't you watch a film or a cartoon? But kids today are not into cartoon.
Right.
So that generation gap is very much there. Again, when Borun Chando's character, who plays Ritwik's father, when he is speaking to him, there is a divide. So this generational gap is exploited a lot in the film.
And I think because you have consulted Ida, it was also very comfortable for her
To say those lines.
Yes.
I usually do. I do a dialogue draft after the actors have been cast.
Okay.
So I would sit with Shohini and I will say, "Jay, this particular scene where you're teaching Bashanti Pulao to the participants. So this is the lines that I've written. Now she's reading the lines and she's saying certain lines a little differently. And so I'm adjusting that at the same time.
Okay.
I always do this because then the actors feel like that they are saying their own lines.
So is Ritwik the currently your favorite actor?
Currently no. See, this is my 8th Bengali film and he has been in 6 of them. So it is what initially when I first worked with him in Shahib Bibi Ghulam, I was really so impressed with the way he handled the character, and he couldn't drive a car and he played a taxi driver, and for no moment during the shooting or when I watched the film, I felt that if an actor can bring something, see, he's very good in dramatic scenes, he's very good in emotional scenes that we have all seen, but to do things, that's why I had the courage of writing Machar Jhol for him, where there also he can't cook, but he played such a big chef with so much
glam,
confidence, that glam, that power. So thereafter, whenever I've written a script, either I've thought about him and written, like in Ranna Baati, I only wanted him to play this because somewhere I wanted the audience to think that Machar Jholer master chef Ranna Baati te rannai korte pare na. So I wanted that universes coming together. But there are other characters also which I have written without him in mind, but after it's written, everyone around me tells me this must be Ritwik. So that has kind of become imbibed inside me when I'm writing. So even I was trying to cast him in my Hindi Netflix show Toothpari for the role of the cop, which Sikandar finally played, but there were other decision makers also, and they didn't want a regional actor, so that didn't work out.
Right. What is food for you?
At different times, a different thing. First of all, food, because I'm heavy, I'm overweight. For the last many years, the thought is that there is guilt in having something which maybe I love. When I was in school, maybe a mutton biryani, I would inhale one plate. Now, when the plate comes, I'm thinking, how much rice should I have? Mutton, should I have the piece? When was the last time I had mutton? All this has happened because there's so much of health consciousness around. If you just open Instagram or Facebook, everyone is telling you, don't eat this, don't eat that.
Right.
So that has kind of got inside. So food, even if I'm a huge foodie, the eating without any inhibition, that has gone. But I love food. I love cooking to, free myself from stress. After a whole day of work, I would cook. And nothing matches, because people love Machar Jhol so much because it came from somewhere inside. Nothing matches my mother's cooking. So she can make like a million kinds of jhol, depending on the fish with which she's cooking. ভেটকির জন্য আলাদা মাছের ঝোল, রুই কাতলা হলে একরকম, আবার ট্যাংরা মাছ হলে একরকম. So that for lunch is, I rarely get to stay at home during lunch, but when I'm at home during lunch, I'm definitely having a simple fish curry and rice. Otherwise, I love to call in food. When I try to not eat carbs at night, so I usually get a half tandoori chicken from somewhere and some salad. So food is something which I love, but I do not indulge a lot anymore. And I love to shoot food. Like in every film, as I said, even if it's not a food scene, if two characters are just talking at home, there is something happening with food in that scene. So, like there was a scene between where they're discussing the case Tota and Shantanu in Chalchitro. They're eating biryani in Armenia. So that is always there.
ইনফ্যাক্ট তারপর তনিকাকে যখন তনিকার সিনগুলো আছে ওকে খাওয়ানো হচ্ছে
Yeah, so food I think is a very important element, especially for us Bengalis. And I find it very surprising that food is not used enough in Bengali cinema because we are always thinking about food. Like today when I came in here, I asked Shomita, who's handling all these interviews, what is for lunch? You know, so that is like, and just after 5-10 minutes, Ritwick came in, acha amar lunch ki ekhanei korchi. So, it's a big part of our day. And when we are having lunch, we are thinking, ki ha, ta dinner e amra ki korbo. So, that food is a major part of our life. Unlike in Bombay, where people just eat because they have to eat, just to survive. But in Kolkata, food is a huge part. When fish fry খেলেই হবে, we eat to live. আর fish fry খেলে হবে না, কোন দোকান থেকে আচ্ছা এই সময় অর্ডার করলে গরম পাবি, মানে the depth at which we go to get the perfect food is amazing.
আরেকটা জিনিস সেটা I have noticed that music plays a very important role in your films. They are very modern.
Yeah.
And very apt, something that is not overpowering or overbearing, not going like out of track or something. So how do you manage, or how do you design? What is the brief that you give to your team?
I think somewhere I'm looking for a lovely melody. I'm not really a lyrics person.
Okay.
A lot of people are very concerned or very worried about kotha gulo. I am a melody person, so I love a lovely melody, and then the words can come. So whenever I'm working with a music director, if that person already knows me, say Anupam, I've worked on 2-3 projects, then he knows what I'm looking for. For this particular film, I've gone with Ranna Baati because I have loved his work in Sweater and in Hritpindo. He's done really good stuff, and I find that lovely mix, what you just said, modern arrangement and instrumentation, but the melody is very simple and old school.
He sounds very fresh.
So that's what I've tried to do in Ranna Baati. So there are 3 songs. One, the title track is sung by Shreya Ghoshal. Shreya is an old friend. She sang in my first film Panchodda, and after a long time she's sung in this film. Ranna himself sang a song called Dorja Khule Dao. Then there's a song called Tumi Shudu Tumi, which Kinjal has sung. And there is a 4th song which Ida is singing on screen, and it has been sung by Rapurna.
Right, Rapurna
Bhattacharya. So those are the 4 songs of the film. I hope people like it. They go very well with the film. Standalone songs, I don't know whether those songs will take off. That we have to wait and see.
Before we move on, I just wanted to go back to the food topic, and because we're talking about food guilt, that how various kinds of content, especially on social media, because we are most of the time on social media, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't do this, don't do. So we are kind of very wound up with I don't know, is it the society telling us not to do this, or you have to fit into this frame of this particular figure, you have to fit into this particular dress. Somehow we are losing on the simplicities of life.
True, very true.
So what is your take on this food guilt, and how because you were talking about, I myself, I have a huge food guilt. I am a foodie. I want to eat, but again,
the guilt creeps in.
Yes.
So I think that people are now confused what is correct information and what is missing.
Exactly. As in, everybody is a dietitian, everybody is a nutritionist.
Everyone knows everything.
Exactly. Everybody is asking you not to eat this.
So when we were growing up, mustard oil was very bad. And sunflower oil or safflower, this is the correct oil. Now they are saying all that is very bad.
Yes.
Go back to mustard oil. Ghee is supposed to be very good. So I saw Instagram or Facebook video, it's a foreign video, where a couple is sitting for breakfast or something, and a man flies in from the window. He's from the future, and he's saying, don't eat eggs. Eggs are very bad for you. and they stop eating eggs. He comes back a little later. Hey, sorry, I was wrong. Eat only the white. The yellow is bad for you. And he goes. And they're trying to eat the yellow, he comes back again. No, we were completely wrong about the eggs. Eat eggs, don't eat meat. Then he comes again. And he says, we got it wrong. And finally the video ends saying that the problem is with genetics. So if in your genes, then a little 1 spoon of sugar, you will have blood sugar. And there are people who eat tons and tons of sweets. I heard someone who spends half an hour on Balaram Maulik every day and eats sweets. Nothing happens to him. But if I just even have a cup of tea with sugar, I feel like sugar. So I think it's a lot in the mind. And social media is not helping in any way.
I think it's not helping to নয় উল্টে প্রবলেমটা বাড়িয়ে দিচ্ছে মানে যতটা না আছে তার থেকে বেশি মাথায় ঢুকিয়ে দিচ্ছে যে ওকে তুমি এটা নাও তো তুমি এটা খেতে পারবে
আমি ওটস একসময় ভালো ছিল এখন বলছে ওটস ভালো না ডালিয়া খাও মানে so much of
and it keeps on changing তুমি কোনটাকে ফলো করো
keeps on changing and change সেটা হচ্ছে with some agenda by someone হ্যাঁ মানে যখন আমাদের ইচ্ছে হচ্ছে তেল পুশ করা তখন তুমি চিনিকে ভিলেন বলছো আবার যখন চিনির কোল্ড ড্রিঙ্ক পুশ করাটা মেন তখন তুমি বলছো যে ফ্যাট ইজ কোলেস্টেরল ইজ ব্যাড এতদিন বাদে জানা গেছে যে ফুড কোলেস্টেরল এন্ড ব্লাড কোলেস্টেরল কোনো সম্পর্কই নেই তুমি দিনে 12টা ডিম খেলেও তোমার কোনো অসুবিধা নেই So that is what does a normal person do?
In fact, যেটা তুমি ঘি নিয়ে বললে যে আগে বলতে যে ঘি খেলেই কোলেস্টেরল হয় এখন তো বলছে যে
ঘি খেলে ভালো
না 2 টিস্পুন এরকম কিছুটা আছে যে পার ডে ইজ ম্যান্ডেটরি ইউ শুড হ্যাভ ইট
একদিন বলবে স্মোকিং ভালো
we are probably waiting for that day okay so আর কোনো কাজ পাইপলাইনে
একটা জানি না whether I can name it হইচইর একটা সিরিজ
right
karma korma so that is going to come out I think end of November
that again looks like very
it has food but it's got less food than say Ranna Baati but it's a thriller about two women it's a women and crime and it's got Shohini again, it's got Ritwick again, and there's Rita Bhori also.
So it has both, your favorite two elements.
Yes, because after work, it has got my two favorite elements, and after working with Shohini in Ranna Baati, I had to work with her immediately again. So that's why I cast her. She's the lead, and there's Rita Bhori, and Ritwick plays a very funny cop. Funny in the sense that he always has acidity issues, he's having milk. It's a character he loved doing, I loved writing, it was a lot of fun.
And finally, to wrap up, any of your films, they are not working at the theatres, would you accept that, okay, it did not do good, there might be some flaws or the audience,
absolutely.
I did not resonate with the audience.
It takes some time. I can't immediately tell you the next week after it has flopped. But after 6 months, when I can tell you what went wrong with Pratim, I can tell you what went wrong with Love Aajkal Poshu, because I have had some time to think and look back. You know, the cast with which I started Love Aajkal Poshu, I didn't get that cast, and it somehow the casting which finally happened, the script was written for mature, older people. It was supposed to be with Jishu and Mini. Okay. And I finally made the film with Arjun and Madhumita. So nothing wrong with them. It's just that the age bracket and the script was for older actors and it didn't work out. So I can always look back because that critic shatta inside is still there. So I need some time and then I can say what worked and what didn't work.
Thank you so
much. Thank you so much.
We talked about a lot of things.
Yes.
I think it was really
Thank you.